Good afternoon, everyone. What if I told you that the future of leadership doesn't begin in the boardrooms or with policies, but in the living rooms of every home, in the arms of a mother? Now, you see, leadership isn't confined to government offices or corporate boardrooms. No. True leadership begins with the individual. Because at its core, leadership is about how we inspire, guide, and impact those around us, regardless of positions and titles. And at the heart of this kind of leadership is the first guide a child knows, the mother. Now, every mother carries immense power, but when she is both educated and enlightened, her power becomes transformational, shaping not just a child, but a future leader. But here's the truth. While leadership begins with the individual, the strength of our society lies in how that leadership takes root and multiplies. And this truth is evidenced when we look closer home in our dear country, in our societies, and in many others around the world. There is a growing awareness of how deeply leadership shapes our present and defines our future. So more and more we find ourselves looking forward towards the young minds who will inherit what we leave behind and shape what we also leave behind. So we try as much as we can to impact these individuals by not forgetting to make an impact in the education of the female child or the mother. Now, let me bring this closer home. I come from the northern part of the country, a region blessed with a large youth population. And I often think to myself, what a powerful resource. And naturally, when we talk about building future leaders, our minds go to solutions like improving schools or investing in opportunities for young people. And while all of these are important, there's a crucial piece we often overlook, the foundation, the mother. And here's something we don't talk about enough, that the quality of this foundation depends on the education and enlightenment of the girl, a woman who will one day become that mother. And this oversight has created leadership gaps, especially at the level of the individual who will in turn build homes, neighborhoods, and communities. And as a result, we have a generation of youth full of potentials, but many have not been guided to embrace leadership as a personal responsibility, let alone as a position of influence. And this lack of grounding is especially troubling in today's world, where change is rapid. Children are not only influenced by their immediate environment, but also by what they watch on screens and the ever-evolving landscape of social media. They live in a global village exposed to ideas and cultures far beyond their own. And even our education system is shifting, adapting to a world where knowledge crosses borders with a click of a button. Now, when a mother, the first teacher, the first leader a child knows is not educated and enlightened, then how can she effectively guide her child through this fast-changing world? And it's not about dismissing the wisdom many mothers already possess. Wisdom is valuable, no doubt. But wisdom, when paired with knowledge and awareness of modern realities, becomes even more powerful. It becomes informed wisdom. And this is exactly the kind of wisdom that an educated and enlightened mother brings into parenting. She can sift through the noise of the world, separating what benefits her child from what does not. She can bridge the gap between tradition and progress, ensuring that her child grows with a firm foundation and culture, but yet ready to face the future. And I know, while it is true that not every educated mother applies her knowledge to wisdom, but when we step back and look at the full picture, one truth stands out. Wisdom, when guided by education, holds far greater power than wisdom alone. And in today's complex world, this combination isn't just ideal, it is essential. Because wisdom without education is like having a compass without a map. It may point in the right direction, but it won't take you far. So if we as a society desire strong visionary leaders tomorrow, our first step must be clear. We must invest in the education and enlightenment of the girl today. This idea isn't just theoretical, it is also personal. A story rooted in my family spanning 3 generations of women. My grandmother, though not educated, the natural wisdom I talked about earlier, but she understood the weight of education. And despite being the sole guardian of her daughter, my mother, she did what she could to take her daughter, my mother, to school. And my mother, she took the seed of wisdom and nurtured it with determination. There also came a time in her life where she had to sponsor herself through school. It was a conscious choice, not just sacrifice. It was a deliberate investment in a future greater than hers. And it was that spark of enlightenment that ignited her journey to becoming a teacher. And though she was a mother for short 14 years, and though much of my memory with her is a blur in my memory, but I'm certain it was informed wisdom that guided her to understand better current situations and take decisions that benefited her children. Who I am today, standing here speaking with you, is the result of an evolution of wisdom. Wisdom sharpened by knowledge, broadened by learning, and made intentional through understanding. And this is the kind of wisdom that every generation should strive for. Not just inheriting wisdom, refining it and expanding it. And of course, that is where my story finds its rooting. I'm grateful to have come from a family that values education for the female child, and I'm thankful for that. It wasn't just schooling. It shaped how I see myself and the world. It taught me how to sift through societal evolution, take what aligns with my values, and discard what doesn't. And that foundation gave me the clarity to embrace my most defining moment, motherhood. At the time of this talk, I will have been a mother for 18 years, 5 months. That is about 4.5 presidential terms, no pension, but plenty of purpose. Now, despite being a stay-at-home mom, I never stopped learning, I never stopped educating myself. And because of that, I have remained relevant, not only to myself, but also to my children. My education has guided me to guide my children through their learning journeys while also nurturing their character. But in guiding them, I'm constantly reminded that leadership begins within, not only in what we teach, but also in who we become. And I remember when I first held my babies in my arms, I had this overwhelming sense of ownership. This is my child, this is my family. However, over time, I realized something. A person isn't just meant for their family. They are part of something much greater. I'm not just raising children, but shaping future leaders. And that is the power of an educated and enlightened mother. She doesn't just react to the world. She interprets it, she filters it, and she uses what she knows to shape the next generation. Because shaping the next generation is where lasting change begins. And when that change takes root in the individual, it spreads outwards into families, communities, and eventually entire societies. And that is why the future of leadership doesn't begin with policies or institutions. It begins with the individual. Because every great leader, every change maker, every person who shapes the future, they all begin as individuals. So we must ask ourselves, who lays that foundation? Who shapes the values, the mindset, the character of the individual long before they ever step into the world? It is the mother, the first leader a child encounters. And while every mother plays a role, one who is educated and enlightened is especially equipped to guide her child through this fast-changing world. So let's remember, when we educate a girl, we empower a mother. An empowered mother also empowers a home. And when we empower homes, we strengthen our societies. And when we build a strong society, we lay the kind of foundation that the world truly needs for leadership. Thank you.